Oh my god. It's finally happening. Whoa. Kids can dream, right? But how did we get here? All this and more in today's Emerald Show. Let's go. Our, as of yet, not so draconic journey begins when I took my nephews and nieces to a place where you can trade your toys. The idea is pretty simple. You deposit your old toys that you no longer play with. In exchange, you get either a ticket for each toy or a ticket for a group of smaller toys. And then with those tickets, you select new toys from nearby stands. Mostly toys that other people have left behind that they don't play with anymore. Now, I did not expect anything interesting to happen here. Especially that I wouldn't think that people would leave behind their good toys. But then, suddenly, between a whole group of smaller dragons, was a beautifully shining big Toothless. Of course, I really wanted to have it. Not only did it look at me like I had to have it, but it also, seemingly being an electric toy, probably is broken, because why would someone leave this beauty behind? So, with some toys that I took with me as well, I exchanged it for the Toothless, and little did I know, once we had it, things started looking pretty grim. The first thing that I could open up was the battery compartment, and as we could see, it is completely rusted. Not only were the contacts completely unusable, the plastic around it also caught up a lot of rust. This led me to believe that probably some child had dropped it into the water. If only that were the case. Boy, I was right about it being dropped in the water, but it wasn't just dropped in the water. It was dropped in the ocean. Seeing the remnants of sand clearly shows that it has been in contact with sand, the sea, or somewhere in between. Yeah, being salt water, highly corrosive, I really did not think this thing could be saved. Funny thing though is that the PCB says Spray Dragon 100 kHz. It's kinda cool to see things like this. This is probably what the manufacturer used as a working title for this toy. It also gives us a hint at what this dragon is supposed to do. Before starting to clean everything up, I wanted to separate every component as good as I could to access better for cleaning. I was desoldering some components and wiping off the contacts of the battery with some alcohol. I really hoped that would be enough, but of course that wasn't. Next up, I tried to put the battery compartment into the hydroxyl cleaner that I got from AliExpress. This thing is really good at disinfecting stuff, but it doesn't really help with removing rust. Needless to say, I wanted to try it out anyway, just to see what would happen. I also tried cleaning the PCB with this to remove any salts and sand. That was more successful though. Next up was trying to put the Toothless belly into a bath of isopropanol, which also did not work, and I didn't dare to put it in there for too long, because if I did that, then the plastic might turn back into oil or the paint might go off, so we just quit doing that. After 3 failed cleaning attempts, I started to look online about how to remove rust. And I know that a lot of people will say like Coca-Cola and whatever, but I'm not really a fan of that. It just leaves everything sticky and the efficiency is kind of disputable. So I bumped into this recipe for a chemical component online, which is a special mixture that attacks only rust and leaves everything pretty much as it is. That sounded like a really good idea to make this happen. Now, a link to the video is in the description below, so you can try this out for yourself. And let me tell you, this really worked. So this is what we were using for cleaning the rust for the rest of the video. Are you kidding me? Are you kid? Fuck this dragon. With all the components cleaned up as well as the casing and the screws, it was time to solder everything back together. Well, this proved to be a lot more of a challenge than I thought initially. Credit where credit is due, this thing actually is pretty well made. I can open it up pretty easily, everything is pretty accessible. But yeah, the cables, the soldering, the wiring, it's all not designed to be taken apart and put back together multiple times. So especially when you're working with cables, you might find one or more breaking. And of course you have to solder those as well. Sometimes a cable was too short because of cutting or soldering or losing a piece. After that point I had to extend the cable a little bit. And funny enough, I found something more interesting. The cable to the LED was actually too short to actually put back in the case, and I didn't touch it. So that meant that this thing might have had a story of its own. Perhaps some dad with his child actually opened it up before to repair it. Perhaps unsuccessfully, but it's really cool to see this just by opening it up, that there's a whole history to it. With the cables properly extended, I soldered the LED back onto the cables, which could now be placed correctly into the head. Next up, we just have to put it together. Time for epic Tootsie repair montage, here we go! Tootsie. Well, there you have it. Tootsie can use blue light, spray, making it look like it's blast, and is fully repaired. The end. Or is it? You hear that, Toothless? You actually have a dart that you could use. At least that's what we think. We're gonna try to figure that out. Do your thing. And indeed, after one 3D printing and polishing session, we got ourselves a beautiful dart. But we're not yet sure if Toothless likes what we made for him. Whoa! Well, there you have it. Our voyage finally came to an end, and boy, what an adventure it was. It really was awesome to see everything come back together and finally having it all work. Not just repaired, but repaired with the original parts. This Toothless isn't just a toy for me, it's a hunting trophy. I love seeing things that are broken put back together, and this is no exception. Making these videos, especially repair videos, is pretty tricky to me because it's always a balance game of leaving stuff out and keeping stuff in. I want to keep these videos educational but also fun. So seeing myself soldering the same wire over and over again because it breaks isn't really fun to watch. So naturally you leave that out, but it could get tricky. So I guess if you made it this far, you really enjoyed it. And I say to you, thank you very much. I am super happy that people are enjoying my content and that I can make a difference in people's lives. But especially for this video, none of it could have happened if it weren't for Karu and his crew. He really made the show, and I couldn't be more grateful. Karu, if you're watching this, and really sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, I hope I did it right. To you, I say, and to your crew and to your friends, I hope the inkjet ink in your printer will never run out. That's how much I like your content. It was a joy and it really carried this whole video. And to my beautiful viewers, if you want to listen to some really good music regarding how to train a dragon, check out this channel. I'll leave a link in the description below and you can check it out for yourself. Last but not least, I really would like to put out a thank you for my friends, my boyfriend and my mom, who were there to proof watch things, to help me get dressed as Hiccup, and I couldn't be more grateful. So thank you all, thank you viewers, thank you Karu, thank you mom, thank you boyfriend, thank you friends. I guess that's it. If you're going to bed, of course Nini Drag is not peculiarities, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.